Jessica Rushed Vibes Rushing, accompanied by Mr. David Rushed Vibes Rushing, and our special guest, Mr. Allen, Big Lil Brother, Rushed Vibes Rushing.
It's
Little Big Brother.
big Little Brother, I think is
Sorry.
how we say it.
My bad. I just
Every time I hear that, I think of little Big Boy in ATL. I know that ain't who I think it is. Little Big Brother.
Oh man, it's a pleasure to be here. I listen to the show every week. I'm just thankful. I get to take the time out to be on the podcast, share some jokes, share some stories. So I'm just grateful. Just a grateful universe, like my Uncle Thanos.
Glad to have you.
So I don't know if anybody can see it, but Alan brought the World Federation Championship belt with him. Wow, and it also happens to coordinate with the Aggie Pride gear that he has on. So,
The champ is here.
I don't know if anybody can see that, but
I was going to choose to ignore it, but
I'm going to take these headphones off. There we go. That's better. So, we're here. We promised y'all we would have a guest, so we finally have a guest here. Little Big Brother, who's a teacher.
educator.
Educator. Former news, worked in the news edit room. I don't know what the official title is, but worked in news for how long? How many years?
I worked in news from July 2014 to June 2019.
So that's four or 5 years.
Yeah.
Before that, did some retail.
Yep.
Was working at Lowe's.
Hey.
God bless you for everybody who's out there working retail. I know it's a struggle. It's not easy. And then that was college, right?
Yeah.
After that,
basically, I graduated from North Carolina A&T in 2013 with a degree in journalism, mass comm. So after I graduated, I volunteered at the public access station just to get some more experience. So one of the guys who worked at the public access station, he used to work at WCCB. So when they had an opening for a morning editor, I put that in I was part-time from like July 2014 to December 2014. So, I mean, I covered, you remember 2014, that's when Michael Brown, that's when everything was happening.
yeah.
So it's like my first month in news, I was exposed to everything. Like being an editor, like I see stuff they won't show on TV. Because like I cut the video according to the script. Mm-hmm. And I see some stuff and it's like, wow. So after that, I went to NBC Charlotte on a full-time basis from January 2015 to June 2019. So for my first, I want to say 16 months, I was weekend editor. So Saturday, Sunday morning from like 2 to 10 a.m. Monday through Wednesday, it could be like from like 9 to 6. So my body clock was all screwed up. But I did enjoy, when they had the morning chef. So I did enjoy, I got me a free meal. That's always a good thing. But then after that, they had me working midnight to 8, Monday through Friday from like April 2016 all the way to June 2019. So that midnight to 8, I thought,
that's rough.
I'm on a schedule now. I ain't got, man, it'd be like,
I don't know an industry that has a graveyard shift that's easy or like people love to work. I just feel like
Probably sleep studies.
Yeah, I mean sleep studies maybe, but any job that requires you to work overnight, I feel like it's going to be a grind no matter what.
And it's like I tell people all the time, news is like being in the hospital. Like I tell every time I go back to A&T, I'll ask the current students, all right, how many of y'all in a relationship? How many of y'all like spend the holidays together? They're like, I say, yeah, y'all like, it's Christmas time, y'all like wearing the matching pajamas and whatnot. But
Don't
you
come
going
for the matching
Yeah, because
pajamas.
we do the matching
We do
PJs too.
pajamas.
But I'm gonna tell y'all this though. I said if you're in news, you're gonna be wearing the matching pajamas in the control room because breaking news is gonna happen. I'll never forget. It was Christmas Eve 2015. I was in the station. I was cutting for the 4 p.m. show. Executive producer walking in, talking about, it's gonna be an easy day. It's holidays. We have national packages. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. 2:30 hits. Anchoring
30 a.m.
p.m.
Okay.
Like I said, I was cutting the 4 p.m. show, so 2:30 p.m. hit. The anchor was like, shooting at Northlake Mall.
Mm.
And I was like, Lord, please let there be another Northlake that's not in Charlotte. When I tell you, we sent like the whole station out there. I was like the only editor, so I had to record on all the footage.
Yeah.
Quickly, make it a sequence so we could run it on air for breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
And then beside our station, you got an NBC regional. They want the same video. So I'm like, they calling me like, hey, can we get the video? Wait.
Yeah.
And then I got the producers in the control room like, hey, Alan, we need a sound bite. And I'm just rushed. I said, Lord, please don't let nobody cuss. Please don't let nobody do anything crazy in the background. I was like, screw it. The first thing I see, attach it.
Yeah.
So it was like, news was crazy. So like one of the big reasons why I went to teaching is because like the schedule's better. Yeah. I feel like when you go from news to teaching, it's like, wait a minute. I got Labor Day off? I never had Labor Day off for news. I said, wait a minute, I get MLK off? I ain't never had that news. Then it's like
pretty soon you might get Juneteenth off.
But it's like, Christmas, I probably only had like 2 Christmases off when I was in news. Remember, I came to your place for the New Year's Eve party. I had to leave. Got to go to work.
Yeah,
I couldn't even enjoy my water bottle.
You missed the.
I feel like I was drunk.
You missed the epic New Year's Eve party. We had put Jessica had put champagne in the freezer, and so my boy Matt was trying to open it up, and it just went everywhere.
It ruined everybody's hair. But there's
I think there was like some sort of dance party going on here in the living room.
It was a whole mess.
There was a lot.
Amazing.
And
I threw up.
Jessica.
A lot.
She mixed champagne with everyking else.
With vodka.
And she had the braids too. So it was
just was like that meme where it was like what you said, 2 shots of vodka.
Yes, that was me. And now that we talk about it, I do remember you popping in, but I think I had already gotten into there's no kid here. I don't have to be responsible. I'm trying to turn up into this new year.
Yeah. That was it's kind of epic. Yeah. It was an epic night. I hate that you had to miss it. Yeah, and then like the next 2 New Years, we were just in here like sleep at 10:30, and then we see the ball drop.
Yeah, I think there was one year. The next year, I fell asleep. We fell asleep, and Solace stayed up, and she was like, "There was a big ball on the TV." Anyway, so from going from just the excitement and exhilaration of being an editor, being in the newsroom, having all that responsibility, to educating. Do you ever have moments where you're, I don't want to say bored, but you feel like you just want more, just something? Because I would imagine, I mean, I know things happen in schools that are exciting, but in comparison to handling what's happening in the city and as someone who I assume consumes news, sitting back and like reminiscing, like, that used to be. Do you ever have moments where you're just like, maybe I want to get back into it? This teaching thing's kind of, these kids, they're annoying. Their parents ain't raising them right. They don't take showers. Like, do you ever have, I don't want to say regrets, but any part of you that's like, I might go back to it?
Oh, no. Let me tell you something. Teaching, because the thing is, I teach graphic design and video. So I'm still involved, whatnot, but like, when I watch the news and it's like I see the breaking stories happening in Charlotte, or I was like, I know exactly what they're doing. I don't miss that. Like being on call. I remember back in 2016 when they had the protest and stuff downtown. I was like in Chapel Hill for family weekend with my sister and parents. They gonna call me.
You had to drive back?
Huh?
They try to have you drive back?
Yeah. I said, it's the weekend. I'm off. I'm sorry, boss. I was like, it's family weekend. I'm family. Yeah. I'm off the clock. But teaching is like,
it's crazy.
Teaching, like, it's so funny because like I got some good kids. It's like, especially you talking about being excitement. So going from in person to online to back in person. It's like the online. I ain't gonna say. I know this is gonna sound bad, but I love my online schedule. I have first block planning, so for people that don't know what planning is, that's the period I don't have a class. Yeah. So, like, my first class was until 10 a.m., so I got me some good sleep, woke up, got me a good workout in. That's okay, 10 a.m., let me turn on my Zoom. All the kids, I'm like, hey, how y'all doing, I share my screen, I show them how to do a project in Photoshop. And be like, they don't say nothing. I said, anybody got any questions? Take me about 20 minutes. Don't say anything. I said, okay. Peace. I'll go up in the kitchen, enjoy me a turkey sandwich.
So basically, that's a very politically correct way of saying you didn't actually do any work.
Hey, I did work.
Something.
They learned something. Listen,
They learned how to turn their camera on and off on their laptop.
Hey, I had 20 students certified in Adobe.
Okay.
That was my goal.
Checks clearing.
Checks got to clear because I say this. Summer 2020, that's when The Last Dance came out, right? With Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
So my goal, my first year teaching before COVID hit, I had 17 students certified. So watching that Last Dance, I was motivated. I said, yeah, I'm going to be like Jordan, right? So I said, let me hit 20. If I hit 20, I'm getting the belt. That last kid passed. I said, wait a minute, that's 20.
I can't.
It was exam time at school. They was like, why you walking around with that belt? I said, don't worry about it.
So when you say get the kids certified, I could probably guess what that means. But what kind of abilities do they have to demonstrate in order to become, or is it like a test? Do they have to?
Well, it's like a professional test.
Okay.
So like I said, I teach Photoshop, so it's a 50-minute test. It's professional, so they got like maybe 32 questions, and they just gotta know stuff that a professional would do on the job.
Okay.
So knowing who your audience is, knowing different buttons in Photoshop, and they pass it. They certified for 3 years.
How tough was it to teach that over the computer?
Oh my goodness, it was so tough because everyone got Chromebooks now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with Adobe software, Chromebooks can't handle that.
Yeah, they can't run on that.
So it's like we would be at school, like I'm teaching from online, but I'm at the building passing out laptops like after school.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, I'm at the building. Get your laptops. Or some kids, they already had the computers at home. They just download Adobe using a CMS account. So it was one of those things that it was cool.
So I know we're in school talking about you as an educator. I don't want to say teacher, but just a little bit of background. So you're from Charlotte, right? Born and raised. Played football growing up. That's how we met. I'm sure we'll get into that. But I know you went to school for journalism. Did you always know that that's what you wanted to go to school for? Is it something that like maybe one of your parents studied in school? But what was it about journalism that made you choose that major?
The thing is, I like talking about sports. And when I was younger, when I was like 11 and 12, my pastor, I'm about to segue. That's Dave's favorite word. But I'm about to, when I was like 11 or 12, my pastor always used to have me read the Bible verses.
Yeah.
I think she was like a retired educator. She used to be like, Alan, you have a great reading voice. So it's one of those things. It's like, I go up there, I feel all big, I do my walk.
Because you got to have a special voice to be a Bible reader.
I know, right?
There's influx and...
you got to be like them pastors that breathe on the mic. In the Bible. Matthew. So I'm trying to be on my best behavior coming in front of my parents, but I want to do that.
Yeah. The Bishop Eddie Long.
But that was the thing. So it's like, when I got the, like I said, we went to Greensboro College. I played a couple of years. Then I transferred to A&T. Next, my knowledge, I was like, oh, not certified, but we accredited in journalism. So we had our own radio station and TV studio. So I remember that, I think it was, that spring. I remember I was in the radio station. So I used to read the PSAs, like, a bake sale over there off Bimbo Road. Get your pies and cookies and shakes for $2. So I used to be silly. So it's like, it was the summer and, I was like, yo, we got a TV station. Yo, we got camcorders? Are we in college?
Yeah.
I said, wait a bit. So I can do whatever I want with these cameras as long as I keep it safe.
Right.
They're like, yeah. So I said, oh, man, we better be stupid.
So that's when the skit started, right?
That's right. I was like, because the thing was, I had so many classmates who were like stressed out about class. I'm like, yo, we in college. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
What y'all being stressed out about? So I had one of my brothers. And I was like, man, I want to do a cheater skit. You down for it? Yeah, I'm down for whatever. I was like, all right, let's go. So it was so funny. So like at college, we'll just do all these skits. And it was like, I saw you on Cheaters. I'm like, you saw me? oh man. But it was one of those things. Like I like the process. Like I like filming.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like filming. I like making like special edits, and then with graphic design, I like doing edits as well, like on posters. Like it's fun.
Yeah.
I tell my students all the time. I said, listen, you get to make logos. This ain't math class. This ain't science. You know, this ain't IB.
Yeah.
Man, listen to some. You know, I'll show you how to do a project. Listen to some music,
Mm-hmm.
and make your logo. Have fun. I mean, you know, I ain't stressed out.
So, making the transition from, you know, going from the newsroom
Mm-hmm.
to the classroom. How many years were you teaching before the pandemic started?
One semester.
Just one semester. So she tried to say it was like a couple years
Nah, it
before,
was.
and I was like, I feel like he was teaching right before it started, but I couldn't remember.
Like the pandemic was his first year.
Yeah.
And I was
Well-
like, no, I know he taught longer than that.
It
It was the fall.
second semester. I started fall 2019.
That's right. Okay, so yeah. So technically,
It was my first year.
Rona was here.
Yes.
And we just didn't know it yet.
It was so crazy because, like, I remember it was like early March 2020. You know, it was it's messed up. That was such a funny story. I remember I was teaching. I was writing on the board. I had this one girl. She was sitting like, I was standing at the board. She was sitting like right there, and she was like, and I stopped. I gave her that look like Lawrence Fishburne did on that Ike Turner, like, yo, you all right? And then she was like, I'm fine. And then this had me rolling. The student beside her was like, I don't know, sound like she got it. I was like, I ain't not like.
He ain't here to play with you.
And then, that next week, the supervisor was walking around. Was like, "Hey, is your class online?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" They was like, "Man, we might have to shut down." I was like, "Is that serious? You might have to shut down?"
Yeah.
But I thought it was gonna be like a couple of weeks. So I'm just like, so what are we supposed to do? I open up my Zoom, and my student's like, what is? I was like, I don't know. I guess, 'cause we'll just learn as we go. We'll just like,
Yeah.
you know, we were like, that was a couple of weeks. Then I was like, oh, now it's the rest of the school year. And then summer hit, and it was like, okay, so how's the fall gonna be?
Mm.
Because I'm looking on the news and I see people all over the beach and stuff, and I'm like,
That was down in Florida, by the way. Not, Florida's a different land.
I don't have them coming up here.
They're wide open down there in Florida.
Mm.
So what made you decide to leave the newsroom?
Oh,
And how did you know? And did you know you wanted to go into teaching after you left, or was it just like, because you said something that kind of indicated that it's like a transition to go from newsroom to teaching, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
Is that really a thing, or?
it's one of those. Let me tell you something. Going on these different interviews and stuff, and it's like, they always talk about teacher pay, but being in local news, the pay, when I tell you,
Poverty.
man, that's an insult to poverty. Listen, like I remember I wanted this job with you. I won't say what the station is, so it was for a photographer. You being a news cameraman, and I know what a news cameraman takes. Them heavy old camcorders, them joints about 50 pounds. So he was going over. I said, cool. Then he was like, so and I thought he was talking about hours per week. He was like, it's 35.5. So I said, oh, okay, so that's how many hours I'm working per week. He was like, no, that's pay. I was like,
USD?
in this market in Charlotte, that's top 25, and
35.
nah, Charlotte's like number 22 now. Like I said, yeah, like a top 25 market in this country.
$35.50.
$35,000 a year. 35.
Oh.
Exactly. I thought that was hours per week. So I was like, wait a minute. In these Charlotte apartment prices, 35.5.
Just get you 2 roommates. One who's a barista.
There you go. That's true.
Always get a barista
You drink coffee?
roommate.
You drink coffee?
I don't drink coffee, but I was like,
It doesn't matter. You just get
I don't know
yourself
what's
a
wrong with
barista
y'all.
roommate.
I don't know what's wrong with y'all people out here who don't drink coffee. Like I don't understand.
so no lie. After
doesn't
that
make sense.
interview, I looked up salaries, and I said, okay, let me do. I was like, dang, I could start off year 0, make more money than this. So I said, screw it. Then I looked. I said, oh, they got an opening for a video teacher. Okay. And then the people at the district was like, yeah, we'll pay you based off years you did in news. So instead of starting off for the year 0, I started for the year 4, year 5. Yeah. Shit. Sign off here you go. Sign this off.
I can start tomorrow if you need me to.
Exactly. I said, bye. I said, because the thing is, you go from that life of barely having holidays off to now I get 2 weeks off for winter. I get 2 weeks off for Christmas, New Year's. I get teacher work days. They're like, yeah. I said, oh, let me just sign in and do some work.
And your classes are electives, right?
Yeah, it's electives.
Yeah. So I mean, and you're teaching something that's an elective. It usually seems a little bit more exciting, more fun. You know, aside from like the general ed courses that you have to take.
And I show the kids all the time. I show them job openings. Yeah. I say, you see the software they ask for? We doing the same thing in here. Y'all doing what professionals use. So it's like, I'm getting y'all ready. So it's like, hey, I said, y'all done spent the last 18 months home. You might as well do some work.
Yeah, that's true.
I said, I know y'all was home asleep.
Got the kid with the camera off.
Exactly.
That's a crazy thing. Like I've heard of like managers at my company. They'll have meetings and like nobody turns their camera on. So they'll have meetings and so the meetings will be over. So they'll be like, all right, y'all take it easy. So they won't sign off. So everybody will drop off. And then so like 2 people. And so they just wait. It'll be like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. Their picture's still up. It's like, yep, they went to sleep. Or they set the computer up, went away, did something else.
Same thing. Like, I'm like, all right, peace. Everybody walking out. Every about 2 or 3 students still on screen. I said, yeah, they slump.
Over there like this. So real quick, last question before we take a break. So, there's probably 2 occupations that there's probably the most being asked of right now, and that's people who work in the medical field, you know, doctors, nurses, and whatnot. And in my opinion, teachers, because of the last like year and a half, you know, hospitals being filled with people infected with COVID, and then, you know, are we sending kids back to school? Are we not sending the kids back to school? Are we doing hybrid? Are we not doing hybrid? Wearing masks? Are they not wearing masks? So you mentioned how you guys were kind of flying by the seat of your pants in 2020. What was it like? Was it easier for you because you didn't have to worry? Is it any easier because you teach an elective as opposed to like the standard curriculum? Or, you know, were all teachers, no matter what their subject matters were they all kind of feeling the same weight and same stress?
I think it depends on, you said the class, which is perfect, and the class size. I mean, last year when we were like on a hybrid thing, my biggest class I may have only had like 5 students in room. Everybody else was online. So it was kind of easy for me because I said, shoot, I ain't got nobody coming in the room. I could just focus on my online kids. Yeah. So like, I know just so many people was just stressed out because it was just like, how is this going to work? You know, we got kids in person, kids online. I was just like, listen, I ain't going to stress myself out. Yeah. I can only control what I can control. If you're in the room, I'll give you something to do. If you're online, I'll give you something to do. We're going to work it like that. Like I always tell my students, don't worry about stuff you can't control.
It's true.
Because you're going to stress yourself out.
Wise words.
I mean, hey, I'm not wise about a lot of things, but I'm wise about that. If I can't control it, I ain't going to worry about it.
Yeah. Do you think, how do you think the last year, so like kids who were in school or starting school, like how do you think these next couple of years are going to affect their development?
Well, you know what? One of the first assignments I had my kids write was like, how did COVID change you? So the thing was like, how is your view on in-person school change from like March 2020? And I had like some great insights. Some kids say it didn't affect them as much. Some kids was like, yeah, I need to be in school because I'll be lazy at home. Some kids be like, they're kind of nervous being around a lot of people since the last 18 months. They've been at home, but it's just been a variety of things. But mostly everyone's like they happy they're in school. Yeah. But the biggest thing is like, you know, they want to stay in school, and it's like wear their mask and stuff like that.
Do you think kids care about wearing masks? Do you think they have, the majority of kids that you've encountered, do you think that they have an opinion one way or another?
I think majority of kids are masking up, like majority, because they teenagers. They see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can watch the news and see, oh, these states that's optional mask. After 2 weeks, they got like 3,000 students in quarantine.
Yeah.
They're not stupid. Like, I ask them, like, they see what's going on. Because they young, they about to be adults.
Yeah.
So it's like, or it's like counties. They be like, we're going to do optional mask and all that. And I said it back in August. I said, wait till Labor Day. Let's see what these numbers look like.
Yeah.
200 students in quarantine, now these parents are mad. Your child right back at home. Talking about my rights, my freedom. Yeah, now they at home with you.
Now the parents try to get freedom from their
exactly,
kids.
trying to get freedom from them kids. Now look at you.
All right. You have anything? Another question?
I'll save it.
Okay. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with Big Lil Brother. All right. We're back. I'm getting situated on the couch here. I can't wait till we get. I tell you, man, we got these couches 7 years ago, 2014, and we strolled at what was it, Rooms to Go? Couldn't tell us nothing. Boy, you'd have thought we bought some fine furniture, and I guess at the time it was. But these things now, it's like work to get up out of them. Like you sit down, you just slide to the middle. Like cushions are terrible. So looking forward to upgrading a little bit. And definitely getting some new stuff for Rush Vibes Studios 2.0. You know, we're gonna move to a new location out of the living room. So you got to wait till season 2 though to see it. So stay tuned. Hopefully the space will be worth it. But Jess said she had a question. So
yeah. So now that you are an educator and you're dealing, I applaud educators because I don't like people's kids. There are very few people's kids that I like. Kids are a lot.
Yeah.
And it's more so a reflection of, their parents and what their parents allowed them to do. But a lot of times when, people do interviews with educators, they always have like a sentimental feeling about teaching and, the whole Whitney, I believe the children are our future and all of that. So when you went into education and now that you've had students and you've graduated a class, how do you feel? Like, do you have students that you're like, wow, I'm genuinely like I have pride that I poured into them, not even just based on your core curriculum, but like beyond that? Oh,
every time they leave, I'll be like, I always give them a hard time making jokes, but I say they my babies. It was so funny because even when the kids are not even in my classroom, it's like they know who I am on campus. Like, I always tell this story. Last time, I'm an Aggie, so back in 2019 when we had
You are? I couldn't tell.
I know, right?
You're so subtle about it.
I didn't know that you went to North Carolina.
It's crazy.
Got our kid going to school talking about
AT&T University.
There? No, my uncle went there.
How frustrating is it when people say North Carolina AT&T University?
Oh my God, man! When I tell you, when Mike, I think it was Mike Breen said that.
No, I thought didn't he say AT&T or A&T over like a central?
It was central, and he said AT&T at that. I was like, oh my goodness.
Mike Breen don't know nothing about no North Carolina A&T. Yeah, it exists.
Listen, I give him a pass because he says bang.
He's like, AT&T got a college now?
Like, come on. But going back to the story, so it was back 2019 homecoming. It was Saturday morning, so I'm at the fan fest, looking at vendors, see if I can get some shirts. And I see this girl, she looked very familiar. I can't think where I've known her from, but she looked familiar. So I saw her in pass. I said, whatever. So that Monday after homecoming, it was a teacher work day. So that Tuesday come back around, I'm in planning. My friend, she teaches across the hall from me. She was like, did y'all have fun this weekend? And then that girl was talking about, I saw that teacher at homecoming. I was like, oh, I saw her. So she gonna snitch? I said, okay, bet. I have my wig ready. Wig and shades. Next time I said, you see me, I'm putting, hey, mister, I don't know who you are.
So you wore a wig in shades of Homecoming.
Listen, I'm gonna look like Mary J. Blige from Not Gonna Cry. Hey, you ain't gonna recognize me. Hey,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to.
But it's like I can have a life too.
I think the bigger question is, why was one of your students?
Well, she was at the Fan Fest. That was the thing. Like, you know.
Okay, so that was for
yeah, you know,
people.
Fan Fest. You know, it's for everybody.
Okay,
And
I was thinking of like.
I thought she was
the
at like
actual tailgate,
like the Drake concert or something. Okay,
None of that.
but I mean, it's not hard. It's not a stretch to think that she was probably at one of them events too.
She probably had a cousin.
She probably had a cousin.
Probably is,
Probably
but
got
like,
a fake ID. Look, we're talking about the children. I'm
but
sorry.
that's the thing. It's like my kids like especially like back in 2020 when everything shut down. I remember I emailed my seniors. Cause you know, they was like, oh, prom is canceled.
Yeah.
You know, I remember just emailing us, man, how y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? I had one student respond back, but that's the thing, like, they will always remember me. That's just like even last graduation, the teachers had to be what's that word? We had to be junior marshals because of COVID and all that.
Yeah.
So one of my students, she's at A&T right now. So she just graduated. She see me out because she never saw me in person. She was on one of my online kids. She was like, "Hey, am I gonna see you at G-Ho this year?" I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why y'all want to see me out? Enjoy your graduation. You just graduated from high school. Why you gonna ask me about homecoming? Mind your business. Shh. Well, Pop said, "Don't tell nobody." Rest in peace, Mr. Witherspoon.
Don't tell nobody.
So what is that like being a young teacher? Because I have friends who are teachers, friends that I went to college with, friends post-college.
I don't know.
Friends that I watch on
Is
Instagram.
he really young anymore? I mean, he's what, 31?
I feel like if you're under 35, you're still young. And like I have friends, and I watch their IG stories, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, you're educating people, like you're people's, and it's such a fine line that I have to remind myself that you can still, you know, turn up Saturday and Sunday, mimosa, bottomless mimosa brunch, Monday be in the classroom and be Mr. or Miss whatever.
Listen,
but do you ever? It's almost like politicians. I feel like you have such an expectation, like teachers are supposed to be, you know, perfect citizens. And I remember one time I caught my teacher. We were at Sam's Club, and she was buying like a pack of cigarettes, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And I was like, "I don't care. Like, it's the weekend." But like, do you have moments where, like, besides homecoming, where you're living your life and you're just like, "What if one of my what would happen if one of my students saw me? Like, forget what would Jesus do? Like, what would this student do?"
Oh, it'll be like, it's one of those things. It's like, okay, I'm off the clock. So it's like, hey, you know, when I'm on the clock, I have my lesson plans, you know, I have my students ready. But when it's the weekend, like if I'm out, like I always think about that. Like if I'm on a date and one of my students is like my waiter or waitress, like I would be so embarrassed. I'd be like, you know, I got my adult, I got my deep voice, you know, trying to soothe this woman. And I hear somebody go, "Hey," but I'm not, oh God. And it's like it will catch me off guard, but it's like everyone has a life. You're not just your place of occupation. It's like, okay, sometimes being away, that's like your mental therapy. It's like, okay, I've been around
it's a
kids.
Release.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I've been around kids. That's why I be on Twitter. We was talking about my tweets. I said, listen, I've been around these kids. It's 2:15. I'm off. I'm about to check like Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm about to get these jokes off because that's my release.
So
it's
any Twitter topics that we talk about on Rush Vibes, I know of because Alan retweets them and they show up on my timeline. So it's not like I don't be on Twitter, like I don't be in these Twitter streets like that. But I open my app and and all I see is retweeted by not a role model, retweeted by not a role model, retweeted by not a role model. And that's his handle. So it's just like, all right. But that's how I know what's going on.
Just like Bishop Sycamore.
It's crazy. The high school that doesn't exist.
Oh.
With the head coach who's got warrants out.
Got warrants out for fraud. He was on ESPN with a fraud high school.
The jokes write themselves.
Do you judge
with that
him,
one.
or do you judge ESPN for not?
I judge
doing
everybody.
diligence?
I judge everybody, especially ESPN though, because we had talked about it. Like they've had a bad summer with the whole Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor thing, and
oh my goodness.
But I don't know.
And this is the crazy thing.
And Paul Pierce.
So on Labor Day weekend, ESPN College Game Day was in Charlotte. If you don't know what College Game Day is, it's like the premier college football pregame show. So it was at Romeo Bearden Park for Clemson versus Georgia.
Is that free?
Yeah, it was free to go out there. So I went out there, and some of those signs we were talking about Bishop Sycamore had me crying. I sent them to Dave. One sign said it was an Alabama fan talking about my Miami recruits from Bishop Sycamore, and there was another guy. He said my girlfriend graduated from Bishop Sycamore. I was like,
so for anyone who doesn't know, Bishop Sycamore is a high school that made it onto ESPN for some high school football classic and was playing against actual high schoolers. But the thing is, Bishop Sycamore was a team full of junior college dropouts. So you had like grown 33-year-old men going out there lining up against 16, 17, 18-year-olds. And they were getting waxed. And then I think Complex was the site that dropped the bombshell. And it was like, yo, this school doesn't exist. Like, their registered address was like a
dentist office.
It was a dentist office. It was a dentist office. So it's like, how did ESPN like miss this? Like, the worldwide leader in sports. Like, how do y'all get finessed like this?
Twitter that day had me in tears. My head was hurting. Talking about them guys. Talking about how you gonna explain to your baby mama you got your ACL tore up by a 16-year-old.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it's wild. I still can't believe that's a thing that happened. So with that, I know I want to kind of go back to the whole lifestyle thing, like outside of school, because we've seen like, whenever like a Karen or a barbecue Becky or somebody gets caught on camera, if they're doing something reckless, a lot of times you see like they'll get yanked by their employer. They're like, nah, they don't represent blah 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 blah. Yeah. And we're in such a time where everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's, they got the Snapchat or the IG Live up. And not that you would do anything controversial, but I'm sure a lot of people who have gotten caught with like a hot mic or somebody's recording, they don't think necessarily that they're doing anything controversial either until it goes viral. So do you ever have like any worries that, you might get caught because you're a teacher, and because sometimes we hold teachers to an unfair standard or double standard, that you do have to kind of walk carefully when you're not working because somebody may be watching you or because somebody may recognize you?
Like this, when I don't wear anything while I'm off work, so you wouldn't even know that I'm an educator, anything like that. Only way you'll know if I'm an educator, like if I go viral. Yeah. And it's like they look my pictures up and they see that maybe my LinkedIn, but my thing is, it's like this.
I'm gonna need you not to request me on LinkedIn, by the way, because
no problem.
Because I'm gonna have. Can you delete connections? Because
you probably can.
Yeah, I'm gonna delete everybody because I don't take LinkedIn seriously.
Man, but the thing, it's one of those things.
I was like, man, who is this connecting? We're trying to connect with me on LinkedIn. I see Alan's picture. He's in there like, like, man, this ain't Alan. But that's the thing. Everybody try to be all professional on LinkedIn.
But that's the thing. It's like, listen, we all gotta have a life, right? We all got, but it's like, okay, the hot mic moment, I get it. Like when you have someone like saying a slur and stuff, okay, I get that. But if you like if you got someone like if they had a party somewhere and dancing, they had a party. It's like, golly, you got a job, don't you party too? Don't they? Yeah. Hey, do they come to work every day? Do they do their job? Let them live a life. But when you say like, now if you controversial or you got like, a drink in your hand, I get that. Yeah. Because, that's one thing they told us in school. They was like, make sure your social media, make sure you ain't got nothing in your hands. Make sure. I said, nah, my social media is nothing but full of memes. All right.
Memes and gifs.
But that's the thing. That's graphic design of memes. Like, it was so funny.
That's true.
For extra credit last year, I had my students like create a meme based on 2020. So one of my students, this was so funny. She had like a SpongeBob template. When it's like he read the paper, rips it up and throw it in the fire. So that template said, North Carolinians get help and covered with mask. So it's like, so it's like, and that's the thing. I tell her, I said, listen, that's graphic design, making memes, making movie posters.
That's actually pretty good. I didn't draw that connection, but yeah, that's a pretty good cover for retweeting foolishness on some on other people's timelines. You be like, oh, it's just inspiration for graphic design and it's creativity. So yeah, I can see that.
Hey, if I see someone that follows me, I say, I know. Let me make mine private now. Make it private.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've had like 2 or 3 different Twitter handles. And I recently, I think within like the last year and a half, I started a new one. And I think you I don't know if you found me or I sent you a tweet and you somehow looked at my profile and you were like, dang, you on Twitter? And you were like, we're not following each other? Yeah. Because I had planned to use it just to like get news or whatever. But it's crazy how easy somebody can snoop you out and be like, oh man, that's Dave. Because I had like 2 or 3 people do the same thing this last week. And my boy Lorenzo, he was clowning me because he said my picture looked like the Everest dude from the Everest commercials. Your picture looked like one of those. I really thought he was going to say, this goes back to how me and Dave met. I really thought he was going to say, your picture looked like one of those guys on the Catch a Predator. Talk about chat. Like, Rushing 2003 says, you got condoms? Got cookies? So I guess we go ahead and tell the story. Yes. Is she awake? Or she just sleep crying?
She was.
So Alan and I we went to college together. Went to Greensboro College. Shout out to the Pride. We played football together. So I was
2 years. It was 2 years before. I was a freshman. You was a junior.
No, I was a sophomore.
Because you graduated high school in 06. I graduated in 08.
Okay.
So he was a junior. Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't. But I didn't play. But we played together.
I was a freshman. It was fall 2008.
Okay. I didn't finish my junior year. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, because you got injured.
Because I got hurt. Okay.
You got one of them thumbs up. You got to go down on one knee for you.
Yeah, but I got knocked out.
I know. We was like, dang, man, let's say you had to go down on one knee.
Like the thumbs.
You had to get the thumbs up.
So we were playing football. I got smacked in homecoming. I was running a dig. The quarterback was scrambling. He was scrambling left. He was scrambling right. I was running left. He threw it across his body. I got caught under my chin, and then I got hit from behind. So and I only know that because I saw the film. I don't remember it. But I do remember looking up and seeing like the stadium lights. I don't remember giving it was a thumbs up, but they carted me off and took me to a local. I was like in the pediatrician's room. I remember looking up and seeing like the ABCs on the wallpaper, like around the ceiling. But yeah, so we played football together. So that's how we met, and then we ended up having a couple classes together. One of them. I think it was like some sort of, what was it?
It was like media writing or something.
Yeah, it was some sort of media class. And it was a small class. I think there was Greensboro College is a small school, but I think there might have been like maybe 10, 15 students in the class. And we would just get in there, we would just clown. And that, at the time, I think To Catch a Predator had gone off the air, but it was on YouTube, so like all the episodes were on YouTube.
I never watched that show before.
Yeah, so I put them on, and we would just sit in there in class and watch it, and we would just impersonate Chris Hansen or whatever. So we had a project to end the class. We had to. I can't even remember what the project was.
Something like something about like rights, like media invasion.
Yeah. So we basically just for our project, we basically just got up in the front of class and just played To Catch a Predator episodes
and cheaters and we got an
cheaters
A
from YouTube. We got an A. So I was just like, all right, cool. But yeah, that's how Alan and I met. So that was his freshman year, and then I didn't play my senior year, and I guess that's when you transferred.
Yeah, I transferred after my sophomore year. I transferred to A&T.
Yeah. So, but did you have any? I'm sorry. I know. I don't want to get too much into it.
We just took over the show.
It's fine. It's fine.
Because I know Jess is here with her something on the corner. But so you actually, speaking of football, you played. What position did you play?
I was guard.
Offensive guard. So you were at your peak. What 300 and How many pounds?
About good 310.
310.
Stack.
Okay. 310.
And
how much? And
thickums.
and how much do you weigh now?
About a good 217.
217. So almost 100 pounds. Almost 100 pounds down. So what was it that it inspired you to lose weight?
I had to, man. I couldn't walk around be 300 plus anymore. Like, you know, as you get older, you gotta go to the doctor. Then you get nervous. You're like, uh-oh. It's just, all right, now we're gonna take your blood pressure. Relax. You're like,
yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. I just wanted to get healthier,
Yeah.
I said, hey, like you said on Life, I said, I was just tired of being a begging boss. In my 30s, just work out,
Yeah.
Hey.
What how were you always larger? Like was
always.
it eating habits? What lack of exercise? I mean, it wasn't like can't be like exercise.
It wasn't
you
like
played
exercise.
football.
It was just like
Dietary choices.
Yeah, that's all it was. It was just like eating all the time, having sodas. But now it's like, okay, I eat veggies. I'll drink water. Like I don't even drink tea and stuff. I have my water bottle, and that's the thing. This is me sober. This is why I don't drink. But it's like
I've tried too. Every time he comes over, like you want some. Well, I got some yak. I got some platinum. He's like water. Water.
But that's the thing. It's like, and it's so crazy. Like people look, they're like, "Oh, you was O-line?" I said, "Yeah." Then I show them a picture when I was younger.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, wow." And I said, "Boy, I be feeling. I feel good." I said, "Boy, I had a mouth drop. I ain't had to take out the dinner." She just saw my old pictures. Had her speechless.
What?
They're gonna cut this out.
What percent? If you can, what percentage of the changes that you made? What percentage was changing your diet versus just working out?
Oh,
because you always worked out, right?
Workout. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
You'd be like, man, like just changing, like eating more, like just basically just eat more veggies. The only meat I really eat is like white meat. Like red meat, I probably eat that maybe once a month or every other month. And like I said, I cut out soda. 'Cause my biggest thing, like when I was younger, back in my prime, boy, like this pre-COVID, but boy, we go on a family vacation, we hit that buffet. I ain't eating nothing all day. My dad say, "Son, kill him." That's all I need to hear. I said, "It's time to do work." Hey, try to shut him down. They're like, "Dad, you still eating?" I'm like, "Shh."
Look, there's this buffet down in South Charlotte, Dragon Buffet. Yeah, that just put me on. I understand. That's all I'm gonna say. Now I've been blessed with high metabolism. It's it's a blessing and a curse, I think, because
I be hating that jump, man.
It's hard to put weight on.
They be posting his stories, be like, anniversary, birthday dinner. I said, man, he ain't gained nothing.
In fact, he might have lost weight.
I've gained a little bit. I got a little pandemic pooch.
I was like, man, you got steak and what the
Look, I eat very well. Look, my wife she could go to school and become a chef if she wanted to, but I feel like she already cooks at the level of a chef. So it's like, why waste money when you're already there? You just can't get the title. But no, I eat very well. For anybody who's concerned, don't be.
No,
I eat great. But like I said, I've been blessed with high metabolism. So what point was I making? Yeah, I get it, because this Dragon Buffet is a Chinese buffet, man. It's just good. It's hard. Yeah, and they know what they do on putting all that food out in front of you, because people can't control themselves and keep
that's
going
why
back.
I drink water. That's why I be like, you know what? I'm gonna curb my appetite.
Yeah.
Let me drink this water, especially 'cause I'm gonna tell you this. Even though I lost all that weight, when it comes to chocolate, them Reese's or something, I'm like, oh boy, I said, come on, let me walk out the house. That's why Halloween's gonna be tough. That's why Halloween and the day after Valentine's Day always tough for me. I go to the store and I see that 50% off. But I feel like Chris Rock in New Jack City. I said, oh boy, that Reese's calling me. I said, oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
This is our phone conversation on the podcast.
Okay, she's up. Do you have any one last question?
In terms of educating, would you recommend, is it an industry that you would recommend to anyone?
Well, it's the type of person you are.
Because I know you've told me, you'd be like, they're hiring for marketing teachers, and I'm like, good for them.
Yeah, I just say that, to joke with you. But it's all about, to me, it's like your personality. Because naturally, even not teaching, I like helping people. That's one thing, you told the story about, we all was in the bond. I came around, picked Solace up. So that's the thing, is like, I like helping people. So it's one of those things, it's like, uh-oh.
Sorry, let's keep going.
But it's one of those things, it's like, it's all about your temperament. Because my thing is like, I don't know, I want to be in teaching forever.
Yeah.
I did this because, like I said, I learned new skills. I learned how to do graphic design. So it's like, if I see like, hey, someone else got a graphic design opening and it's more money, and I said, oh, okay. I said, kids, I love y'all. Y'all be easy. Be good for your next teacher. Peace.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, it's all about your temperament. It's like, I feel it's like how you talk to people. That's why some kids be cussing at their teachers.
Yeah.
You be saying, I'm like, hey, you got to know how to talk to people. It's like, relax.
Yeah.
It's all right. Because my mindset is, I brought it from college. I know I really can't do that, but it's like, hey, I already got what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to care about your grade. I can't make you care about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I can contact your parents, I can do it, but you got to do the work. You got to care about your grade. You want to see these Fs? That's cool. You making my job easy. But if you show me effort, I said, listen, I'm going to help you out. Work with me. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't care, you just be like, you making my job easy. Easy check.
Now, do you have to learn how to teach? Like before you,
Oh, yeah.
You didn't go to school for education. So did you have to take any classes, or were they just like,
well, I did take like
classroom?
I did take like some community college classes like towards my license, but my first day I was just like, okay, I got about these 15 kids. Okay, what am I gonna do? I had to catch my footing. Excuse me, my second day of class, I remember I had like 27 kids. I was like, what in the world I'm gonna do with all these kids in my classroom? Like, I'm new.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to handle 20? And they just looking at me like, I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, I know they can smell. They could smell.
Smell blood and water.
Fresh blood, fresh meat. Oh, we're gonna tempt. Nah, but
that's the thing about kids, man. They sense it.
But they were cool though. Like basically, my thing is, since my class, I just keep them busy. If I see a tutorial, like, oh, they can do this and move, play it. Here you go.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, cause they keep me on my toes. I'm a very silly person, so I can go tit for tat. They be like, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna give it to you real. I'm from Charlotte, okay?
Right.
Y'all ain't surprising me.
Queen City.
The only difference is y'all got Instagram and stuff. When me and Jess were in high school, we had MySpace, and people got in the fights if you wasn't in your top 8.
You say me and Jess like I wasn't in high school too.
We're from the same class.
Exactly.
I'm just saying I was in high school too. I just was a couple years.
Never mind.
But all right, what we're not gonna do. What will not happen
Single out the old man
is we will not single out the old man. We will not talk about Parkwood High School, Union County's finest. I don't even know what we're called now because we used to be the Rebels and then they changed it last year.
Exactly.
But
that tells you that's one of them.
It was rural.
I mean,
sundown
it's Union.
towns.
Well, not anymore at least. But it used to be. I'm sure.
But like, you smell that? Yeah, I smell something.
Yeah, but that MySpace top 8 was serious. I loved when they finally came out with the feature that they rotated it yourself, like themselves, so you didn't have that pressure on you. But
now it's just like you'll have kids get in a fight like at 6:30 in the morning over Instagram. I'm like, dog, it's 6:30 in the morning. Eat some breakfast first.
Aren't you tired? Did you
I know you got morning breath. Brush your teeth first before you get in a fight. You got all that energy. Eat a biscuit. Hey, you got to burn off something.
Well, I am y'all sitting here with like vivid memories of MySpace, and I don't even recall.
It was fun because now I think about it, there were some like you'd like randomly go to someone's page and then see that you were in their top 8.
I know, right?
Me, like I've gotten it, I've earned it. Whoo!
Yeah, my MySpace page used to have that Shotty Low playing. So let me get my top 8 in the corner.
But now for me, that's the same thing as with iPhone texting. How you can pin people. Like there's some people that'll be up there. And I'm like, so we haven't talked in like 2 weeks. So you get to move down, and I'm texting you a lot. So you get to move up. So they brought it back. I will give it to Zuckerberg. He probably knows Tom.
All right. Let's take one last quick break, and then we'll come back and wrap up. All right, we're back. I hated to interrupt y'all reminiscing about MySpace of all things to be nostalgic about. But I didn't know if you guys wanted to continue talking about your top 8.
Is MySpace still up? I do wish I could log back into my MySpace.
I tried to, and they were like, I had to do some password because I didn't remember it. And of course, I don't have the same email address. So there was like some thing I had to do, and I did it. And then I logged in, and I still didn't have full access to my profile. So I was like, all right, whatever. But I had like the little picture of myself, taking a picture of myself in the mirror with like the little Sony Ericssons. I was like,
so good at that.
Yeah,
couldn't smile in your picture either.
No, I couldn't smile. There was a so I guess we're just talking about social media sites. There was like a series of sites where you basically, the whole objective was you put a picture up, you get like a little basic skinny profile, and people would vote on you. And then if you, as you accumulated votes, like I guess you could vote from 0 to 10. If you got like so many 10s, you would be like the number one. So like you would be like the number one dude, like the best looking dude on the site, or you'd be the best looking woman on the site. I can't remember.
That sounds like one of those games.
Like Crush. I think one was called like Crush Spot or something like that. So I got on, right? This is high school, so I got on. So look, check it. So I got on, and the thing about it is if you get on, if you have a lot of friends on and you get on, of course your friends are gonna vote you 10, right? Yeah. So you shoot right up to the top, and I think you only had to get but so many votes.
Yeah.
So I get on there, and I put this little basic photo of myself, like a little profile shot. Again, I was like in the camera, in the mirror, and I wake up one morning and I'm number 1 on the site. So you're on literally on the landing page. You're like top account for men, top profile for men. So 16, 17-year-old David with with like a basic buzz cut, sitting there with the little Sony Ericsson. I'm number 1. So I go to school and I get back, and when you get number 1, people on the site see you. So like, oh, congratulations on being number 1, and oh, okay, you cute or whatever. And so I go to school, I come back, I check the website, and I'm gone, right? Some other dude is up there.
Yeah.
But you can go and see who voted you, like who gave you what vote. So look, it's some old hating ass dude voted me 0. so I went to his page again, voted him a 0. And he DEI'd me. He was like, yo, chill, why you vote me 0? Like I couldn't see his vote. I'm like, bruh, I saw you gave me a 0. So what you think I was gonna do? So that was my short like 5-hour reign at the top of a website as the number 1 looking dude. But those sites was those particular sites, yeah, they were just toxic.
There was one our freshman year of college. It was like an anonymous site. Like you post your profile and people could and people could ask you questions and then you could respond to it. And it was ridiculous. Like there was one girl, somebody was like, I heard you had a baby, and like put it up for adoption so you could go to college. It
was like question. I remember that. And I was like, man, listen. See, that was before, to my sliding DMs. I said, nah, don't be soft now. Don't be anonymous. Slide it, be brave.
That site was ridiculous. It was so interesting, but it was so ridiculous.
I remember because they used to be on Facebook, so it'd be everybody's status would be like anonymous question. Oh, I think you're cute, and she'd be like, oh, thank you. I'm like, oh, when I'm gonna see you, when I'm gonna take you out, she'd be like, thank you. I'm like, dog, just be brave.
It's easier when you're anonymous because then you can just say all kinds. Yeah, you can say all kinds of stuff. Man, be whoever you need to be. That's how you get catfish.
Hey,
yo. So did I don't know if I should do it. Did I ever tell you how I got I told you how I got catfish, right? Yeah. Did I ever tell you how I got catfish?
What happened?
I don't know if I should tell the story. So this involves another one of my boys. I'm not gonna put him on blast. I'm just gonna tell my part. So I think I'm in college, and I'm on Facebook, early stages of Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think at this point it had been opened up to college students. And I'm on there, and I'm not really doing a whole lot. There wasn't a whole lot you could do on Facebook back in the day, unless it was you were just writing on friends' walls or whatever. So I get a friend request. Some shorty, she was like a red bone or whatever, long hair, and had a nice figure. You know what I'm saying? Of course, this is before Jess. I didn't know Jess existed at this point, so I'm free to talk about this. This is statute of limitations. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I accept it, and then I get a DM or instant message, and it was like, hey, how you doing, or whatever, and I'm just like, chilling, sitting in the room. I have no game. Like I've said this before, I have no game. So for any woman who would ever approach me, it would just be like hi, like I'm David. So we start talking or whatever, and she said her profile said that she was in Winston-Salem. She went to Winston-Salem State. So after a couple of weeks of talking online, we had said that she was like, oh, well, why don't you come up? So I was like, cool. So I had planned to go up on a weekend, on a Saturday. So the Friday before, we're kind of talking or whatever. And then that evening, I get a call. I think this was the first time we ever spoke on the phone. I get a call, but it's from an unknown number. It's like blocked. I didn't put two and two together. So I picked up the phone. I'm like, hello, this is David. And she was like, hey, this is, I can't remember what the name was. I was like, what's going on? And she was like, I got terrible news. And I was like, what? She was like, it's so ridiculous. Now I'm going back over it, but she was like, my dad died in a car wreck.
So why would you tell me that? We just met online like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I'm like, but I'm not processing it, right? So I'm like, oh dang, I go straight to being sympathetic. I was like, oh man, that was crazy. I'm sorry. Like, what can I do? Like, what do you need? Like, can I come be with you or whatever? Whatever. I'm a college kid. She was like, nah, I got family up here. We're gonna probably do a quick funeral. And she was like, service is probably gonna be Sunday. And I was like, damn, it's Friday. Like, y'all gonna put him in the ground that quick? But again, I was like, all right, whatever. Maybe it was a bad accident. Maybe dude was in bad shape. They were like, nah, we gotta. They were like, nah, we gotta put him in now. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I was like, hit me up and we'll talk later. So we would go back to messaging, but then every time we would talk on the phone, but every time we talk on the phone, it would be a known number. And I never, for some reason, I don't know why, because I'm like, now maybe this helped groom me, but now I'm always just naturally skeptical of people.
Oh yeah.
Like just off the bat, like, I'll meet somebody, I'll be cordial, but I'm just always skeptical. But for some reason, my guard wasn't up, and we would just continue talking. But every time we were supposed to link up, something would happen. Like a friend's dad would die, or a friend would get sick or something. So I finally, it was totally random. But one of my, I won't say my boy's name, but he had called me. He was like, "Hey," it's like we were just kind of catching up because he went to a nearby college too, and he was like, "Man, I've been talking to this girl," but he's like, "But it's weird." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Every time like we're supposed to link up, like something happened."
Man!
I was like, what do you mean something happens? Like you lose service, or it's not after 9, so you don't got free minutes. Like what are you talking about? He was like, nah, like her dad died in a car wreck, and I was like,
wait a minute.
I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I was like, okay, her dad. I mean, but people die every day, B. So I was like, okay, maybe that's coincidence. He was like, yeah. Then her friend got sick. I was like, hold up. I said, I've been talking to somebody who's like, and literally have had the exact same experience. And he was like, when she called, is it from an unknown number?
Same girl.
I was like, hold up, man. I was like, nah, ain't no way. So we eventually did some sleuthing and realized that we indeed had been catfished. So
see, that's one of those things. It's like if I get a friend request, and see, this how I know. I'm like, wait a minute. She looked too doggone good. We ain't got no mutual friends. Blocked. I don't know.
I'm like some basic dude.
Exactly. Like, what?
Like I would love to believe, like by the grace of God, but nah.
I said, come on.
Like
man.
I look at it now objectively, and I'm like, there's no way like if people were back then, I guess catfishing was a new phenomenon. But if people who were trying to do the catfishing were smart, they wouldn't pick people who were like just flat out, gorgeous or banging or whatever. You would pick like middle of the road, wholesome.
At least have some mutual friends. I'm like, wait a minute. Now you from Miami,
yeah,
in a bikini, a blonde,
yeah, and now like you can tell the difference between like when someone has just like straight taken pictures off another profile and put it on, because they just look different, and they're usually like Android phones. Like no disrespect to Android people, but it's like using Android pictures taken on Android phones. Like nah, that's a fake profile. But yeah, so it's crazy. But the whole thing of catfish, it's like what. And the thing I never understood about it was, what do you get out of it as the person who's doing the fishing? Because you never actually meet the person, like in person. Because if y'all ever link, like you've seen the show Catfish, people wild out.
Speaking of the show Catfish, you can talk about catfish all you want, but that episode when she was like, "You should have never called me a fat ass Kelly Price," that was gold.
I don't even remember.
Look
that
up
one.
the clip on YouTube, put it because like I think this woman, she was catfishing her cousin. And they was like, wait a minute, this person don't exist. And they was like, you the catfish? She was like, yeah, you should have never called me a fat ass Kelly Price. And then there was one episode, this person was posing as Bow Wow, and there was a 919 area code. Like, come on, we know good well Bow Wow's not Raleigh. So I was like, wait a minute. It was so funny. I had my mom watch it. And like, when they revealed who the real person was, my mom was like on the couch like this. She was like, people are doing this. I was like, man, it's crazy.
It's crazy. But I still don't. I mean, I guess you have to consider it's probably someone who's feeling lonely and just needs like some sort of void filled. And even if it can't be like physically, just having it like emotionally, I guess, or whatever
wild.
is.
Like y'all sending these people money I never even met.
Yeah. No, I never did anything like that. Like I was willing to go up there and meet, obviously.
Meet during the day in a crowded place.
During the day, and
I don't know who you are. You could be on
public place.
America's Most Wanted, Mr. Walsh.
But yeah, it's wild times, man. I have, like I said, when I told the story of when we went down to the beach for senior week, a lot of my stories that involve the opposite sex, they end in tragedy. Even Jessica and I, we're like, people think we're great now, and we're well off, but man, when we were dating. God almighty, it was toxicity, mainly because she was tripping. But like, I just have bad luck with opposite sex. I got my lightning in a pan. What's the saying? Lightning in a bottle, as Jessica, and I'm holding on like for dear life.
Hey, speaking of that. I don't have anything right here, so if you're a Vibe Tribe member, introduce me to your friend, Craig. I had to drop that.
So on that note, we're at like an hour and 10, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. One last thing before we get you out of here, because then we've kind of veered off onto...
If this is anything to do with wrestling,
No, I wasn't going to go there. I was not going to go there.
Now you got to do it.
But since you brought it up...
You were definitely going to go there.
I was not.
So what were you about to just
I was going to
say?
ask him... You're a teacher now. What do you see yourself like? Is teaching the it now, or like what's next? Basically, ask him what's next for him. Mm-hmm. But that can wait. Now that you brought up wrestling, I just want to say I appreciate you for getting me back in.
I don't,
because I have been out for so long, and because of you, I've been introduced to the bloodline.
I'm so upset with you. You're lucky I have genuine love for you.
Yeah, he helped us out in a bind. When
and he's got in here watching it. I'm like, this is fake, right?
It's not fake. It's scripted.
I was like, I literally saw his hand go over his head.
It's not.
And then he fell.
It's not fake.
This is fake.
It's scripted.
The last fight
There's a
that
difference.
he was watching, I literally had to just get up. And I was like, I can't do this because it's fake.
It's scripted.
Because I watched him go to punch. And then this is dude's head, and I saw his arm go over.
It's scripted.
I was like, David, this is fake. Like, why are these arenas packed with
scripted.
people
It's
watching?
Because it's entertainment.
This fake fight.
It's entertaining. It's not just the. It's not just the.
And it
the
wasn't even like when he threw him around. Like it wasn't even like a real.
It's not just the
throw.
match. It's the intro music. It's the
fake.
stroll. It's the swag.
It's fake.
It's the storylines. It's entertainment.
The only good thing that wrestling has done for society are all of the people of Samoan descent that are now well known. That's all the credit.
The bloodline.
Yeah, 'cause they Samoan.
Exactly.
Roman Reigns.
It's just two of them.
No.
Roman Reigns, his cousins, then The Rock.
Usos, The Rock, and
they all in one family. Because The Rock mama's Samoan. So that was like a whole wrestling family.
Anyway, that's the only benefit
Anyways.
of wrestling.
Mr. McMahon, Stone Cold, come on.
I appreciate you.
Playing the music.
I was watching
Which music? Roman
Roman
Reigns.
Reigns.
Music.
Head of the table, baby.
I came down the stairs. I was like, what is going on?
Head of the table.
Dave came in about, acknowledge me.
He did say that.
Jessica.
He was like, Echo, play that song again.
Acknowledge me. Roman Reigns, man. That's that dude.
Hey,
It's my-
cause no lie, like he said, we
It's my
came in
guy.
there blind, like we ain't watched wrestling in years. So when
just
they
went.
played, so in the last match, they played Roman Reigns song. I was like, oh, this is
like, oh, this is
different.
a hit.
That beat hit, that dun,
And the violins, and then the man, that was perfect.
And then he came out, that swag. I said, I always root for the
He
wrestling
stood
villains.
up on the outside the ring. It was just like,
Fake.
I was like, yo, this is my guy.
It took him
This is my guy.
It took him like 15 minutes to walk, maybe 20 feet.
No, it's farther than that.
Regardless,
But
it should
yes.
not take anybody
But
that
that's-
long.
You got to build up the suspense.
That's the head
He'll
of-
walk and then he'll stop and look.
That's the head
and
of
then
the
he
table.
can walk, stop, and look again.
It's the head of the table. You have to understand.
And they got his little minion guy following him around.
Paul Heyman with the belt.
Dude looks scared.
All right.
Hey, what I love is like every time he get on the belt, Paul Heyman, he just start praying like, "Thank you, Tribal Chief."
My tribal
it's
chief.
funny.
Okay, so now that we've passed wrestling, so you've been teaching for a couple years.
Yeah.
You enjoy it.
Mhm.
It's I think it's a way for you to give back and pour into and to expose and expand kids viewfinders, if you will, in terms of what a potential career or future or skill or trade looks like. What do you, is this something that you see yourself doing for an extended period of time, or is it kind of like a pit stop and you're kind of working your way towards something else?
I view it as a stepping stone to something, it's like when I first gotten in, I was like, okay, I'm going to do my 3 years. I'm going to learn some skills and I'm going to get out. And that still may be the case. I'm in my 3rd year now. But it's one of those things, it's like, hey, it's a stepping stone. I enjoy what I'm doing. But if I see like a better opportunity, I'm going to jump at it. That's one thing we do as millennials.
Yeah.
We get a better opportunity. Like I see,
true.
like I see on Indeed, like I know like Mecklenburg County was looking for like a senior graphic designer. I said, okay, how many years they required? Okay, bet. If I see something like that, I just keep building up my skills. Then it's like, okay. Because the thing is, if I'm still in graphic design video, I still get Adobe for free.
Yeah.
So that's one of the benefits of teaching it. I was like, oh, I ain't got to use no more fake college emails. Sorry, Adobe. But I was like, oh, okay. I can do it for free.
I still do it too. So.
Exactly. No snitching.
No snitching. Lip seal. Well, we appreciate you coming through.
It's a pleasure.
You're probably one of the original Vibe Tribers. Loyalists.
Gotta be.
Both with the pod and just in life. Like you mentioned, we were in a bind during COVID. Jess was not feeling well, and we had to take her to the emergency room. Of course, it's COVID, so they were like, only one person. You can't bring kids in here. So I called a few people. Nobody would really commit to doing it for various reasons. And I called Alan, and he drove all the way from. You're at your parents' house, right?
I was
Yeah,
at my
because
parents' house.
it's before you got the house. So he drove from like South Charlotte all the way up to Huntersville and took solace
And when I
back
tell you,
back home, brought her back here.
as soon as we left that parking lot, Sauce was on 10, talking my ear off. When I tell you, I was sitting like right here on the couch, just waiting for Dave's parents to come. She sit like right here where my hand is at.
Yeah.
Tell me, look what I got. Look. And I'm just texting Dave. I said, bro, when's your parents coming?
And I was afraid. I was thinking she's gonna be so shy and
No.
just quiet and uncomfortable.
No, she was open. I'm like, oh, she don't know about social distancing. And then when I tell you, when I heard that door unlock and Dave's parents come in,
Yeah, they said you were You were at the
Met
door.
them at the door.
Hey,
Met them on the
listen.
way out.
I told her, I said, can you help me get this car seat out my car? I said, I ain't got no kids. I don't know how to take it out. I was like, oh my God, she's like 4 and talking like this. I would have
Sol's got a motor.
I would have never expected that. I'm just like,
Yeah.
they tell me, my dad texting you. I'm like, Dave, we ain't paying. She is talking my ear off.
Yeah, but yeah, so always come through, and then of course, you know, we've known each other since 2008.
2008.
So that's
13 years.
13 years. I'm glad. Thank you for doing the math. I was struggling. So yeah, we appreciate you coming through. It was supposed to happen a lot sooner, but you know,
It happens, life, man.
things happen. So for anybody out there who is watching, is a loyal Vibe Tribe member, don't forget to connect with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, like the video, subscribe. We've got at least 2 more guests coming this month, and then 2 more next month before me and Jess sign off and get out of here for the end of season 1. Like if we're gonna end up being like a 45, 46 episode season 1, which is insane to think that we've been doing this every single week for 43 weeks straight.
Let's make it 52. That like if we did 52 episodes.
That's amazing.
Well, I don't think because the baby is what decides everything. So when the baby comes,
You might be gone next week.
we might be gone next week. Technically,
never know.
it's not
We
supposed to be
won't,
until November.
because we still need
So,
to grow.
but yeah, this has been incredible, and I can't wait. You know, because we are prepping a new space or new setup for season 2, and then we're gonna kick off with some more guests as well. So appreciate everybody rocking with us. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. So I'm gonna lean forward and get J Belt going. Anything, Jess?
No?
Okay, take us out.
What?
Hey, hey.
Bye.
I done came way too far, can't stop me now. I done came way too far, can't stop me now. I done came way too far, can't stop me now. I done came way too far, can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Yeah, I done came way too far, can't stop me now.